With Rena following me, I left the house. In front of the house there was a car waiting. It was Ooshi-san. Hey, good morning. Bye, Mara-san. To you too, Rugo-san. Together so early in the morning, you make me so jealous. What a truly praiseworthy man he was, if he had been waiting in wait so early in the morning just to pressure me into talking. On this morning though, this may actually be a good opportunity. You're from the police. Oh, have I not introduced myself to you, Rugo-san? Please excuse my rudeness. My name is Ooshi from the Okinomiya Police Department. Pleased to meet you, yeah. Are we telling Ooshi-san? Yeah, I think my palm is enough punishment for your crime, Keiichi, but we should leave Mi-chan to these people. Pain and sadness. I looked down as those emotions built up in my heart. We have something to tell you, Ooshi-san. Well now, what about? Should we stand here and talk? Or go inside the car? Inside the car, please. I only continued to look down weakly. All I could do was be thankful for how dependable Rena was. At Rena's urging, I revealed everything to Ooshi-san. The latter while making sure to throw in rumours that he was paying attention now and again, took notes. We continued that way for a while. How do you feel? Don't you feel a lot better now that you've told me? Ooshi-san asked this while scratching his head with his ballpoint pen. Of course I don't feel better. The price that had been paid until now for me not owning up to my crimes had been so immense. But as long as that payment wasn't returned, the load on my chest could never be removed. His radio started to emit static. This is Kumatani. Ooshi-san, over. Yes, hello. This is Ooshi. We got news a few minutes ago that she'd been absent from school. No movement from the Sonozaki house. Our target is still on the premise. Yes, good. Keep a close watch out. Roger that. Cars 3 and 7 just arrived for support. We've returned to base. Also, I think the division chief is looking for you, Ooshi-san. He keeps annoying me too, even though I keep telling him I'm trying to get in touch with you. What should I do? If you're hard pressed for an answer, tell him you're under orders not to wake me from my morning nap. Got it. The radio grew silent. Sorry about that. It was about work. He just said there was no movement at the Sonozaki house, didn't he? Oh my, did it sound like that to you? This won't do. Please keep that a secret, alright? I don't have permission from the division chief to be making private inquiries like this. Ooshi-san had suspected Mion for a long time. Nor for questioning witnesses, or for searching houses. We don't have permission for anything, really. The Sonozaki house's defences, said to protect the family members, are also in full working condition. Family house defences? Without a warrant, we can't do anything about anything, unless the crime happened right in front of us. Ooshi-san, could you be... Rena's tone of voice alone was enough to make us clear... Rena's tone of voice alone was enough to make her spite clear as she stared at Ooshi-san. You can't set foot in the Sonozaki house. Were you trying to get Keiichi to go in there instead? Rena, that's... What do you mean? This person, just as I thought, he plays really dirty. Stop, you're hurting my reputation. That said, I'm all ears about your explanation, okay? Ooshi-san lit a cigarette and responded to Rena, wearing an expression implying he was calm and willing to let her comment slide. You can't get a warrant, but you've always had your eyes on Mi-chan because you thought she was suspicious. Yes. You plotted to incite Keiichi-kun and have him go to the Sonozaki house. Then if something were to happen to him, you would have used that as an excuse to go in. Isn't that right? I only understood about half of what Rena was saying. I knew, however, that Ooshi-san had been trying to use me. Even if Keiichi-kun got hurt as a result, have you no shame? Is this how the police do things? My. It seems we have an incredible detective on our hands. Yep, she's Ace Detective Rena. Oh my. Would you be interested in taking our exam? I'll gladly write a recommendation letter to get you into our detective division. You're despicable. Rena spoke quietly, her words dripping with hostility. I've been insulted in all kinds of ways in my life, but one or two words from a young girl is always the roughest for me. Even so, I suppose I should thank you for not arresting Mi-chan yet. Don't mention it. Ooshi-san to be enjoying his exchange with Rena. The things this man thought were like a swamp, I could barely see past the surface. It reminded me again of how much I disliked him. Now then, as you two esteemed friends of Mion Sonozaki, what do you plan on doing now? Will you wait kindly for me to go over the evidence and request a warrant? No, we won't wait for that. We'll go and make Mi-chan surrender herself. That's right. If she turned herself in rather than be erased, she might get a lighter sentence. At this point, perhaps that was the only pity I could find it in me to afford her. I see. I wonder if it will go that way. If you're careless, you two may face danger, you know. Ooshi-san was measuring our resolve. So in a strong voice I declared, "We're fully prepared." Ooshi-san gave us an unpleasant yet seemingly satisfied grin. It was then I realized this man was trying to use us for his own convenience. If anything should happen to us, use that as an excuse. Though my greatest hope is that you will surround the place so that the criminal can't get away. Rugo-san, you're good at negotiating too. And throwing in the towel. I surrender. What are you talking about? If the police surround Mi-chan's house, then that would be insurance for the worst case scenario. For the worst case. Plus it would be another way to pressure Mion to give herself up, wouldn't it? Ooshi-san to Kuma-chan. Ooshi-san to Kuma-chan. This is Kuma-tani. Go ahead. Our two friends are going to play at the Sonozaki house. Make arrangements so that we can reinforce them if needed. Roger. Their altogether too short conversation implied that our questioning was already part of their plans. Then, let's get going. Want to buy some tea biscuits on the way there? Neither Rena nor I went along with Ooshi-san's stupid joke. Ooshi-san stopped the car at the place where we always waited for Mion. Come to think of it, I've never been to Mion's house before. I've only heard that it's right down this road. This is as far as I can take you. According to our information, there are quite a few security cameras set up on the premise. Still, don't worry. I've got a bunch of youngsters ready and waiting to slip past them and go in. We'll be monitoring... Oh god. I'll adjust my seat in here. I've been sitting in the same position for way too long. We'll be monitoring the inside with a one-way mic, so if you two give us a loud scream, we'll know right away. We'll persuade her for sure, so please be ready for her to turn herself in. In both our eyes was determination. It was the only method available to us for lightening the sins of our good friend. Be careful, you hear? You probably don't believe it right now, but I don't want you two being sacrificed if at all possible. You're right about that. With that rude response, we left the car. Their clinging humility and voices of the Crusaders greeted us. I never have expected this to be happening today. Let's go, Keiichi-kun. Rena took the lead and began to walk. Down the road I've never been. Rena, you've been to Mion's house before, right? Yeah, a few times. It's a really big house. You could fit a mountain into their backyard. You can pick mushrooms and stuff, though there are fences everywhere. Big enough to fit a mountain. That was amazing. One of the 3 families controlling Hinamizawa and the head of the family of the Sonozaki clan. Perhaps there was something to be said about its magnitude. Off we go to Mion's. The path continued onwards, level and uneventful. There were metal fences along its edges, and beyond them were woods with trees growing thickly. The fences were high, the tops of them bent inwards, sticking out like sharp spears. Plus there was dangerous looking barbed wire wrapping around them. No one could look at them and not feel intimidated. In addition, there were signboards hung up here and there along the fence. Private property of the Sonozaki family. Entrance is forbidden. Beware of venomous snakes. Active security cameras. Intruders will be charged an entry fee of 1,000,000 yen. This forest, or should I say mountain, is this all their yard? It's more like their domain. As you can see, it's private property, but no one maintains it. The forest isn't really the kind you can go hiking in. You could say that again. It really did feel like a neglected, savage woodland. It was dark and damp, and certainly not a forest that made you want to go for a nice walk in. Yeah, especially when they have a sign saying warning dangerous venomous snakes. Maybe that's just what happens when the landowner has too much land. Like Ooshi-san said, there were security hangers. There were security cameras hung up all over the place. Though they have been weathered by rain and wind, casting doubt as to whether they were even functional. I wonder if Mion is watching us as we come to her. I don't think she is. The only people living in Michan's house are generally her and her grandma after all. There's nobody to watch the cameras. What a useless security system. Well, Michan's father seemed like a pretty tough person to get along with. So whenever everyone in the family is together, whenever everyone in the family is getting together, the cameras are apparently working properly. That's right, Mion's father. He was a big shot Yakuza, wasn't he? Rena smoothly danced around the answer as she explained. At last, a huge gate as big as I'd imagined appeared. Was she living by herself with her grandmother in a house with such a grand gateway? I wonder if she's here. Beep. The old buzzer made a dull sound. Was cut off in the middle and not getting to the house? We waited long enough without a response for me to start thinking like that. However, we finally heard footsteps walking through gravel on the other side of the gate. I nervously balled my hands, my palms now sweating, into fists. There was a clang of a bolt being released and the gate opened slightly. The person peeking out of the gap was none other than Mion. Well, this is unusual. Aren't you two going to school? Mion didn't seem that surprised at visitors arriving in the morning, which wasn't a normal time. In fact, she seemed almost relaxed, as if she knew we were coming beforehand. We stayed home today. K-chan is one thing, but you too, Rena? You two are such troublemakers. Mion smiled lightly, in the way that the Mion we knew always did. Well, let's not just stand here. Come on in. She gestured for us to follow her. I hesitated for a moment looking at Rena. Let's go. Rena smiled cheerfully, as if she were passing through the gate of a good friend's house, and then did just that. I rallied myself and then go through the gate too. On the other side, it hadn't been maintained very well, but it was clear that the lot was magnificently wide. It wasn't quite what you think when you hear mansion, but it was very clearly a vast place. Was this the first time you've been here, K-chan? Yeah. This house is enormous. Deep thatched roofs aren't in fashion anymore. This place could be a tourist attraction. I want to rebuild it using totally average and boring reinforced concrete soon. Mion dryly smiled as she said that, then closed the gate and relocked the heavy bolt. Don't worry about it. Things have been dangerous lately. Gotta do at least this much during the daytime. Yeah, you're right. Maybe it was my imagination, but I thought I saw the hint of a shadow in her smile. Well then, good sir and madam, I shall show you inside. Please come this way. Mion bowed to us like a worker at a high-class hotel, then pivoted on her heel and began to walk. I gripped my stiffening arm lightly. H-kun, you're too tense. We came to see Mi-chan, remember? You don't need to be that nervous. That's right. When I got nervous, I tend to show everything on my face. I'll stop tensing up. Even if something were to happen, there were two of us. Ooshi-san's subordinates were waiting outside the gate for us. There was nothing to worry about. After thinking about it that much, I realized my nervousness was already gone and laughed at myself.